Y'all send me somewhere? It's right here with there. Let's fight. Welcome to the ring. A good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome, welcome. Wherever you picking us up from, in Guyana, in the Caribbean, internationally, in the diaspora, welcome to each and every one of you. Be sure to let us know where you're joining us from this evening. We're going to give some of you guys a shout out, but it's good to be back after the weekend. And what a weekend has it been! What a weekend has it been, folks? Good to see each and every one of you, nonetheless, who are here with us this evening. Get a little tongue tied here. Elizabeth Williams, good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you guys. We're gonna take back our 5 minutes. We just stayed off a little bit to see whether you guys are really gonna miss us or what you guys are gonna do. Sometimes you got to play there to catch Kobo alive, as the Trinidadians say. You got to play there to see what kind of funeral you're gonna get. And so, guys, we are here with you for the next hour or so. We're going to have a guest stopping by. MP Shurwayne Holder is going to be talking a little bit about the flood, where he's at, and perhaps even nationally. Quite a bit of info to share with you guys this evening. Thanks for joining us wherever you're joining us. So if you're joining us on Twitter, welcome. If you're joining us on Facebook, share the live stream. If you're joining us on YouTube, guys, you got to subscribe. You got to follow my page on Facebook if you're joining me on that page. And those folks who are joining us on the CANU AFC page, give us a share this evening. We're coming to fight y'all. We got to fight some of you. Those persons who are joining us on Christopher Jones' page, the chief whip. Christopher Jones, guys, give us a share. Chris is getting some much needed rest. Nonetheless, we are looking out for him. Keep him in your prayers, guys. Keep him in your prayers. We're looking out for our brother, making sure that we are populating his page. Give us a share there wherever you are. You pick us up on Christopher Jones' page, CANU AFC page. Give us a share. Alliance for Change page. Give us a share, guys. We are so privileged to be joining you via all across social media, joining us on YouTube. Guys, you can even share from your YouTube back to, I know some of you do that. You share the link back to WhatsApp and you pull in them fast. People, to let them know what's happening because they're fast, but some people slow. Good to see all of you. Mimi Hendricks and Patricia Amsterdam, highly favored, and Veronica King and Nadia C4, Roxanne Andrews and Carlton Lacey. Good to see each and every one of you guys with us this evening. Bennett Jones, good to see you. And Mark Allman, good to see you. Roxanne Aaron, good to see you guys this evening. What's happening where you are? Ganesh Mahipal. Ganesh, you better find your tail in the ring. I need to ask you a couple of questions yourself. Ganesh, good to have member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal joining me at the other end, and I think I need Ganesh this evening. I think I need Ganesh on some of these international issues. Good to see Auntie Sandra, who's joining us from Diamond. Good to see you there, Auntie Sandra. Auntie Sandra, Lindsay Lohan. Oh my God, we got a superstar up in the hazer. Lindsay, I need your autograph this evening. I definitely need your autograph, Lindsay. And Petal Brown, John Rogers. Good to see John Robertson. And is it Marvel Schultz and Ernest Elliott and Pauline Peters and Lashley. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Guys, you know this program is about you. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. We'd be so irrelevant. We'd be like some of those PPP programs. You got 20 people watching you. Like some of those DPI programs. You got 15 people watching. You understand? So you guys make this program what it is because you guys keep showing up over and over again. Ewart Eastman and Bentley Edwards and Carolyn Melville, Yaris and Natasha Mercilane. Rhonda Lane, come on down. Janet, is it Janet Roberts? The names are going by so fast. Shawnette Alicia, Emily Durant, Dennis Booker. Guys, good to have so many of you. Good to have so many of you. Good to have so many of you. As one installed minister talked about over the weekend, the girl firefighters. Good to have all these girl Facebookers. Selena, Selena Fraser, good to see you in the house. For all the way from Canada. Ralph Fredericks and Andrea McDougall. Is that it? Fitzroy Punch. Oh, Fitzroy, I like your name. Punch. You got to fight. Fitzroy, we got to fight. Kim King and all the others. Marcia Griffith. How is it there? Romaine Adams. Good to have all you guys ringside this evening. Good to have all you guys with us. Alexis Williams and all the other folks. Rachel Glasgow. I feel like I'm teaching a class. I'm taking a register. I feel like a teacher. To all the girl firefighters out there, kudos. You good work over the weekend with the Multilateral High School. My grandfather taught at Multilateral for a long, long time, Mr. Johnson. So shout out to all those folks who are affiliated one way or the next with Multilateral. Section of the building went up in flames over the weekend. One purgatory to the next under this government. We're still waiting to hear what was the cause of that fire. But our thoughts, our hearts are with all of those persons affiliated with Multilateral, especially those girl firefighters who were out there on, is it Saturday, showing us how it is done. All the girl firefighters, right? And that particular girl minister who was out there as well. Good seeing all of you, all of you folks. I am ready. I am ready to get into the hot topics this evening, and I hope you guys are as well. I feel like I'm getting too many notifications. People don't hear, they ain't hearing at all. Wait till you come on. And then is when they won't call you. 8 hours per day, they ain't calling you, Soon as you're on, then everybody calling. Folks, I want to turn your attention to some international news because we are learning. Let's turn your attention to some international news because, again, we are learning that there was some commentary coming out of the State Department over the last 24 hours, and I know in particular let me get the name right. I always get my brother's organization name a little mixed up. So the Rickford Burke organization, this is the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy, CGID, the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy. They would have written to Tony Blinken, the U.S. Secretary of State, on lots that have been happening at home here in Guyana. And they also have a very, very massive, I see a very, very massive rally that is coming up in August 15th. And hopefully we're going to have Rickford on sometime during the week to walk us through some of what has been happening at his end. But I want to go through a couple paragraphs of this letter from the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy, which was sent off just today, addressing some of the grave atrocities, some of the infractions that has been committed by the PPP installed illegal administration over the last 10 months they have been in office. And in this correspondence, the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy says that it is perplexed that the Biden administration has not yet forcefully condemned the appalling racism and apartheid governance of the racist PPP government in Guyana. As a United States-based organization focused on democracy and human rights, we are gravely concerned that the Biden administration and the United States Ambassador to Guyana, Sarah Anledge, continues to commit U.S. taxpayers' dollars to benefit the racist regime in Guyana. This is not only repugnant to U.S. foreign and national security policy, it is also inconsistent with the policy and values espoused by President Joseph Biden and the Vice President Kamala Harris, as well as with those that respectfully you two as our new Secretary of State. And I'm going to read one final paragraph for you. It says, it appears contradictory that the Biden administration condemns and sanctions the ethnocratic military junta in Myanmar while ignoring the PPP government in Guyana, which consistently engages in exactly the same level of pernicious racism and autocratic excesses. The PPP regime is the most violently racist and brutally oppressive. I love that. Anti-black government in the Western Hemisphere. And as I said to you, I'm going to definitely have Rickford on before the week is up, or even if Rickford is watching and Rickford wants to fight this evening, just let me know. Just let me know. But good to have each and every one of you guys. I want to share some other information with you guys. Signs of the times indeed. It's one purgatory to the next. Look, madness with this install the administration. Good to see the Phantom there, who's joining, quote unquote, the Phantom, joining us via YouTube. Good to see you there. And the Phantom is hailing up all of our other ringsiders. So again, look, signs of the times under this installed PPC administration. Look by this here. Remember, they were touting. They have been touting. Oh, promise delivered with 20,000 scholarships. Promise delivered with 20,000 scholarships. Now look mad this here, folks. Right? It's either they mad or I little slow. Right? It's either they lying through the teeth or something wrong with me. Now, this was Starbuck News over the weekend. That first headline at the top there. This was Starbuck News over the weekend. Gold scholarship awardee to be selected by July. They ain't give out a scholarship yet, you know. All they give out is application. And that is what the article told us. They were what? They were about 8,500 applications that were received. They ain't give out a scholarship yet. Right? They're saying mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Right? Promise delivered is what they're preaching in every tongue, every community. We have awarded 20,000 scholarships. Now, how do you get 20,000 scholarships awarded from 8,500 applications? I don't know. Some people got to be getting 2 and 3 scholarships. Some people got to be getting 2 and 3 scholarships. Right? And now, how can you say promise delivered if the awardees are to be selected? Almost on my prayer there. Awardees are to be selected in July. If the awardees are to be selected in July. So is either something wrong with me, right? Either my elevator not meeting the top floor, or these people got some serious problems, some light chores, serious problems with these folks. Folks, look at my list. Let me give you a blast from the past. I couldn't wait till Friday for Flashback Friday. Look mad this say now. Look, check this. Look mad this say now. Right? Remember the other promises during the election? Look at this promise. See if you remember this one. If you remember the promises during the election. You remember the promise to reduce cost of living? And just Friday for those of you who joined me, I showed you the footage of even before the flood started, the installed Vice President, Jack Dio, talking about how the cost of living was going up and little they could do to stem that tide. Just Friday, I was showing you that. And I was also walking you through that article with Ashley, the install short Ashley Singh. Short man, talking about how cost of living is going up and that they are willing to accept on board any option. Now, they have run out of ideas, right? They're spending a lot of taxpayers' money, but they're bankrupt of ideas. So now they say any viable ideas. Any viable ideas? Oh, they are willing now to have a look at it, to bring it on the table. Right? It's Steve the one thief your ideas. Right? The Steve the one thief your ideas. GT Black Gold, you think they're going and say, oh, I get this idea from Black Gold? Samson Root, you think they're going and say, oh, Root, tell me how to stabilize this economy, stabilize these prices? And the Naja Commonwealth, you think when you go and tell them how to fix this flooding situation nationally, they're going and say, oh, Commonwealth tell me to do X, Y, Z. You know, it's thief, they want thief ideas. And that is all they know. That is all they know, right? So they had promised to reduce cost of living. How they going? Ashley? Install Ashley? How they going? Jagdio, how they going? Irfan, how this reduction in cost of living going? Huh? Oh my Lord. Over the weekend, I put a post on social media asking people to tell me some of the high prices there in the marketplace. My God. My God. Right? Belanges, Mr. Belange, Bora, beef, chicken, everything gone up. Rope, soap, everything. You can't afford for dead in this country now. Or else it might Canberry. You can't even afford to die. That is where we are. Folks, those of you who are now joining us, welcome in the ring. And you know, guys, what is the price of admission? Some of you getting really, really, really slack, you know. Some of you really getting slack. Y'all like talk about struggle and who must protest and all that, and y'all can't even share the live stream. Some big activists y'all are. Militancy, y'all can't even share the live stream. Y'all getting complacent. Y'all getting complacent. Right? I want to catch some y'all in the dark alley and fight y'all. That's what I want to do. So the cost of living, guys, is going through the roof. I don't tell you, I'm vegetarian. I give up meat. Right? And the way sugar going up, and we producing sugar. Right? I given up on sugar. My dealer talking to me. So I given up on the sugar too. I was drinking the hot water just like that. I was on black tea before. Now it's just the hot water. Right? Because milk gone up. So I give up the milk long now. Now sugar going up rapidly. Right? Sugar and gas rivaling each other. How it going up? So I just drinking the black water now and eating the dry dan. That is where we are. So folks, over the weekend as well, folks, those of you, and I ain't talking to those people who aren't sharing the live stream. I'm not talking to you. Right? I'm not talking to you guys. Right? I'm talking to the other people. Right? Over the weekend, look at this madness. Look at this madness. With the Ghana Defense Force. We don't have an army. We have long established we don't have an army. Look, madness, you know, with the Defense Force. The Defense Force said if you get vaccinated, they ain't giving you no Father's Day hamper. If you don't get vaccinated, they ain't giving you no hamper. Right? Mind you, for those of you who are really in tune to our hot topics, about a week ago, we told you guys that the installed minister of what's his name, Hamilton, Labor, right? Installed minister Labor said it is illegal. It is illegal for employers to force their employees to take the vaccine. While we encourage everybody to take the vaccine, there is no law that is making the vaccines mandatory. As a matter of fact, right now they run out of Sputnik. Right now they run out of Sputnik, and we're coming back to that. Right? We're coming back to that. So as Karen McFoy now joining us, and Michael and Lisa and Basil and Catherine and Laverne, you're gonna share the live stream. So the army said, no hampers for the fathers that are not vaccinated. Y'all see story here? Y'all see story here? So the government talking out of one side of the mouth, right? Irfan Ali, we know, is installed, is illegal, but he is the chief, what do you call it? The commander-in-chief. So how he got a policy that employers cannot force employees to take this vaccine, and here we got reporting coming out of Village Voice that says to us that no father who was unvaccinated was given a hamper. The GDF folks, what is this here? This is Guyana, or this is South Korea? Or rather North Korea. Huh? This is King Jong Irfan. So you don't get the vaccine. Well, cat eat your dinner. Cat eat your dinner. The hamper is going back. Cat eat your dinner. Look at the story here. To tell every day we tell you guys. Every day. Right? And we're publishing our confusion powder calamity PP calamity confusion powder calendar on Fridays. On Fridays we'll walk through as we do our flashback. and show you every day, every damn day something. Uh, every day something. Right? So yesterday you have this here. You're unvaccinated, beat out. No hamper. And yesterday also, oh my lord, yesterday was CANU officer gone wild. Yesterday was CANU officer gone wild. Right? I don't know if this man expecting a hamper and he didn't get one. But according to the report in Kuriviton, some bar, right, he just started shooting up in the air. A CANU officer just started shooting up in the air. Right? Folks, you all understand this? Just start shooting up in the air. Right? This is a country we got. Or we on a dam. Right? Martin Carter was of the opinion, or national poet, Martin Carter was of the opinion, Guyana is not a country. Right? It is a civilized plantation. That's what Martin Carter felt. Right? And we know our brother Gordon Mosey made popular the statement, life on the dam. It's not a country. He said, the man just started shooting up in the air. Right? A CANU officer. For no reason. Right? He high or he low or whatever. I don't know if it's the cost of living. Get into the fella. The fella just starts shooting up. Yeah. And folks, it gets better. It gets better. Right? And when y'all see I put up my popcorn and my cokes, y'all know it gets better. Right? It gets better. Right? It gets better. So after this one start shooting up in the air now, right? After this CANU officer starts shooting up in the air, look man, this happening over the weekend. We ain't coming to Monday yet, you know, folks. We still on the weekend. We ain't coming to Monday yet. Look man, this happening here now. Right? This is how you know things hard. Right? This is how you know things are real hard in this country. Now, bandits stick up a man. This is how the Kaichur news. So I telling you this story how I buy it. Bandits stick up man pushing a punctured bike, and them men ride away with the bike. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. Right? You cannot make this stuff up. According to the papers, you see pocketeer in this country, you think things hard. We all live, you all in the diaspora. A man stick up, a man pushing a bike. The bike is punctured. That's why he pushing it. Them men take the bike and ride away with it. Look, I know this story. The story is told that a man was on a bridge killing himself because he was down to his last banana. He was down to his last banana. He said, after I eat this banana, I jumping off of this bridge. Right? And as he peeled the banana and he ate it and he threw the skin away, right? A man jump out from somewhere, scramble the skin and eat it up. The man said, I thought I did bad, but I ain't really that bad. So I ain't killing myself anymore. Right? I saw this man pushing his puncture bike, thought he was bad. Thought he went bad. Right? But that man sticky up and right away with the puncture bike. Yeah, see, story in this country. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot. You cannot. I have my guests waiting a virtual green room, and so I'm hastening on. Folks, it gets better. Look, pocketeer in this country. So the guy was robbed of his punctured bike. If this bicycle owner that no things are wrong in this country, he'd riding his bike puncture and head home quick. You understand me? He'd riding his bike and head home quick. They thief the man puncture bike. You think you got it bad. You think you got it bad. Folks, some people got it so bad now, they're mixing egg with water and frying it to stretch it. Right? Where you could buy a whole tray egg a month ago and just fry to your leisure, you got to buy 1 and 2 eggs to last you for the month. So people mixing the egg with water and stretching it. You understand me? Rent gone up. I hear they got one place, so much people living in this house. So much people living in this one house, they got to come outside to turn around. Just come outside, turn around, and go back in. Right? Because rent gone sky high now. People now living together more than usual. So there's so much of them in this one house. Right? These guys now come outside. you turn around, put on your clothes, and you go back in. you, you take things bad where you are there. But you haven't seen what happening here, folks. You haven't seen what happening here. Let me run through what's happening COVID-wise. Now, I tell you, I can't even wait till Friday. I can't even wait till Friday to give some of y'all some of this flashback. Can't wait till Friday. Story too much, right? Can't wait till Friday. Now, when these guys were in opposition, right? When these guys were in opposition, oh my Lord, they went on at a rate with COVID-19. We couldn't do nothing to please them with COVID-19. And I want to remind you because some of y'all memory short. Some of y'all memory short. Right? So look what was said. This was the installed leader of the opposition. Right? He said population at risk. Opposition leader. This was Jagdeo. You know how many COVID cases you had here? 24. 24 COVID cases you had. And this man said the population at risk. What happening now? 24 cases of COVID we had in this country. And in this article, he said the reason for this 24 COVID, right, is a total lack of leadership. That's what he said. It's a total lack of leadership. What happened now? I know them trenches gone quiet. Right? I know the Nakavakamites gone quiet. I know the Jagabats silent. 24 COVID cases. And he said it's a total lack of leadership. Now they come in, they got the whole shit show for manage. And where we there now? When they came into office, folks, let me remind you all, we had 21 deaths. And we had 474 positive cases or confirmed cases. Now we got over 18,000. Right? Look what else is happening on the COVID front, just before I have my guest come on. Look at what else is happening on the COVID front. Now, just today, this is news today on the COVID front. Right? Guyana has recorded 51 deaths as of today. Right? During the last 21 days, 51 deaths. I think you had 2 new deaths of today, and you have 48 new infections. But it gets better. 48 new infections, folks. It gets, well, I shouldn't even say it gets better. It gets worse. It gets worse, right? Because here what they're telling us. Now, Frank Anthony is now coming to the conclusion, right, that it is possible that the the Brazil P1 variant is in Guyana, right? The COVID P1 variant is in Guyana. Let me bring that up a little bigger. He said it is quite possible, he just realized this, that the COVID P1 variant from Brazil is in Guyana. That's what he said. The COVID P1 variant, right? You remember I told y'all would have read, because one hopes that you all are doing your independent research. Dr. Carissa Etienne, who is the head of PAHO, said to us weeks ago, right? And the incompetent installed Frank Anthony told us that he didn't know. He said he had to get a report from Etienne, right? He asked them to update him. Well, he didn't get the report yet, because I asked him recently in Parliament if he got the report. And he said everything else but yes. But he came to the conclusion today that variant, the P1 variant, could be in Guyana. But he goes on to say that vaccination, folks, vaccination offers protection. Vaccination offers protection. But hold on. Y'all remember this Sputnik issue with the Sheikh? Huh? They tell us they get this vaccine from the Russian government, but it's the Sheikh. It is the Sheikh they got the vaccine from. They're dealing with the Russian government. Don't let the hoodwink us. Right? Don't let the hoodwink us. Hold on. Remember, he just tell me that this P1 is good if you get vaccinated. Look where you see. Look, Pocketori. Sputnik V second dose is possibly delayed by Russia COVID surge. Now, the vaccine is being produced in Russia. The vaccine is being produced in Russia, and they're out. They're out of the second dose, right? And if you've been following, you would know that the first dose and the second dose is two different vaccines. They're doing two different things. The Sputnik, this is only for the Sputnik as far as I know. The first and the second dose, according to them, is two different vaccines. So they are now out of the second dose, and they're telling us that it is delayed because of a COVID surge in Russia. Well, the same thing happened in India. India was producing vaccines, and then their own COVID situation went out of hand, and they stopped exporting and started importing. And so now they're telling us that they're out of the second dose for the Sputnik V, right? Ian said it is because it is delayed. My English better than prayer. That possibly, they don't really know because Russia hasn't really said. Right? Russian really said, and let me tell you, y'all see crosses, gets worse. Right? If y'all think that was crosses, look how it gets worse. I hope some of y'all sharing this live stream, don't make it come and fight y'all. When I come and check on y'all profiles, y'all better got this thing because I gonna fight y'all. Low crosses in this country. Y'all know we just talk about Sputnik, and that's just COVID. We answer a word about the flood yet. We haven't said a word about the flood, but look at the flood front. Oh my crosses. Look what these guys telling us today. Look crosses here. Right? Look crosses. All right? They're telling us that there has been an increase in the cases of mosquito-borne diseases in the upper and middle Mazaruni areas of Region 7. Right? And increases in the waterborne diseases. So COVID wasn't enough. Flood wasn't enough. Now you got waterborne disease in the ass. Right? And this has prompted health teams to distribute insecticide-treated nets to help safeguard people from becoming infected. This is the Ministry of Health. This is not the Ministry of the Opposition. This is the Ministry of Health reporting. There has been an increase in the cases of mosquito-borne disease in the upper and middle Mazaruni. Right? And if Dan got you trembling, look what the agriculture minister told us. Folks, y'all hear Pocatory? Right? He said this flooding here will be the most devastating than the 2005 flood. It will be more devastating than the 2005 flood. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome my guest for the evening, MP Shurwayne Holder, who is joining us from all the way from region number 2. Is it, Shurwayne? Let me get your mic for you. You have to unmute your mic, Shurwayne. Thanks.
Yes, thank you for having me, Sharon.
Shurwayne, welcome in the ring. MP Holder, what is the flood doing at your end? Because I heard there are some real problems in the Pomeroon.
Yes, Sharon. Let me say a special good night to all your viewers. The flooding has devastated the Pomeroon, basically. I'm getting a little feedback. Sharon.
Right ahead, Shurwayne. I will mute my mic.
Okay. Yes. Flooding has basically devastated the entire Pomeroon River. Over the last few days, I've spoken with a number of residents, both in Upper Pomeroon and Lower Pomeroon. And, the story is the same throughout the entire Pomeroon River. Some persons were underwater. As one woman put it, she had water in her home, the lower flat, for 27 days. It's only yesterday that the water receded from her home, but her entire farm is flooded. She complained about losing a generator, furniture, and other household items. It's a real tough situation. What she said to me also is that no persons from the government visited her. Nobody visited her to give her a hamper, nothing whatsoever. And I think that is even, that is extremely sad to know we have a government in place that is in control of the resources of this country, and yet they cannot bring the kind of aid to the people of Region 2 when they most need it. Back in January, there was a flood similar to this one, and you would recall that we, the opposition, had to spend our own monies. We had to reach into our pockets. We don't have control over the state resources, but we had to reach into our pockets and try to bring some aid to these people. And now here we are again, just a few months later. The flood has devastated their farms, destroyed household items. Some persons are actually still covered in water. Some areas are still covered with water. And so it is very, very unfortunate what is happening now. Sherrod, you would have been in Parliament just a few days ago. All of us would have been in Parliament. And you know that we attempted to put a hold on the agenda and ask the government for us to discuss together as executive and as opposition side together, discuss the flooding situation and the measures that we can put in place to bring relief to the people of this country. But the speaker said that it was urgent. No, it was important, but not urgent. And I think I was so shocked with what came from him. I was extremely
MP
shocked.
Holder, MP Holder, while he was doing that, on that very day, the president, the installer Irfan Ali, was declaring the flood a national disaster. Let's add that in.
Yes, I was completely taken back. I was taken back by his utterance, and just at the same time, the installed president was declaring flooding a national disaster. So I am confused. I believe the entire nation is confused. Which direction are we going in? Is it that because the opposition brought this let's call it a motion to Parliament, it means that you have to reject it? If you're saying that this is a national issue, then together the citizens of this country expect that both government and the opposition would cooperate, would come together. And I think we are willing to cooperate with the government in certain areas. The leader of the opposition said it, as much as we don't recognize them, or rather we recognize them as being installed. Nevertheless, when it comes to matters of national importance, we will cooperate with them. We together we approved the $10 billion for flooding, but we don't know where this money is going to be spent. We don't know what is it that it is going to be spent on. And we questioned the honorable prime minister, and he lacked the answers. So as you put it, it's like one pocketary to the other with this administration.
And Beholder, what you said just now about people saying the government is not reaching out to them, we're not only hearing that where you are, but we're hearing that across the regions that this flood is now more than 3 weeks old, and still they have not heard anything from the government. I heard from a guy in Yakasari, this is Region 6, just over the weekend. He said, the cattle are stranded, there's no grass because it's all covered in water, and they have not heard a word out of the government. He said the vets came once, look at the animals, look at the water, and went back about their business. They have not heard from anybody as yet. So, in the absence of the authorities reaching out to the people in any meaningful way, what is happening where you are?
Sherrod, people are just left to fend for themselves. I know there are some persons that actually had to vacate their homes in the Upper Pomeroon area. Some persons who, while they do farming, they depend for some supplemental income from in the gold mines, the gold field areas, and those areas are also flooded. So those persons are back at home without any income, their farms devastated, their homes underwater, and the administration is saying nothing. Now, a few persons got hampers. A few persons got hampers. But as we were told, this hamper is supposed to last, according to the government side, this hamper is supposed to last for 2 weeks. And I just mentioned to you that the reports coming in is that persons' homes have been flooded for 4 weeks, 27 days, one woman said to me, and persons' farms are still underwater. So, what exactly are they expected to do? With this hamper, this 2 week hamper that they said, Sherrod, I doubt that a hamper can even last 2 weeks. But as they claim, the hamper is for 2 weeks, and so we're at probably week 5 now since this major flooding, and what exactly the people are running out of hope. They are running out of hope. As an opposition MP, I don't have the resources, but I have been reaching out to persons in the Pomeroon, telling them how sorry we are. Former President Granger also called me, he emailed me, and he expressed grave concern for what is happening in the Pomeroon, and I conveyed that message to many in the Pomeroon. And the faster, Sherrod, the faster we get back into government, it's gonna be better for this entire country. It's gonna be better for our region, and it's gonna be better for our country. This installed administration is totally uncooperative with the opposition side. While we were in government, we had these let's call it a task force. I can't remember the exact name for it, but regional task force that deals with emergencies. And there isn't any. At least we do not know of any such task force. We do not know about that. And if there is, well,
They broke up all MP.
yeah,
Oh,
they
let's
break they break up
call it as it is. They
all the
broke up,
systems,
they mash up all.
all the systems. Let me tell you what's happening in the Upper Pomeroon. Persons don't even have drinking water because they usually get water to drink and to do other stuff from in the rivers and the creeks, right? And since the flood, they can't use the water. So water has become very scarce, and that's proven to be a serious problem in the Upper Pomeroon area. I know just a few days ago, GWI took in a few tanks of water. Um, I commend the person that organized it. I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. But that is not enough. That is not enough. The persons are calling for more storage tanks. I think that is a basic thing that the government can provide. I know when we were in government, the RDC, the yard always full of black tanks. So why can't we get some black tanks and distribute them in a non-discriminatory manner to the people of the Pomeroon area, the affected persons? But something is definitely wrong with this administration, Shara. They're not they're divorced from the people. They're not there. There isn't a connection there. There isn't a feeling. All they are concerned about is filling their pockets, and that is what they have been doing in this region.
MP Holder, I'm happy that you mentioned those things that are critical for the people, because I was coming to that as a question, because I know, for instance, here is the installed agri minister saying to us that this flood is even worse than 2005, and we know how terrible that was. But in 2005, I think the administration then had given every household, if not every person, $10,000. I mean, as an opposition, we have said very early, we think that every affected person should get at least $100,000. Would this be meaningful for the people of Pomeroon in terms of at least starting to get them back on their feet, or getting them some necessary items as they see fit? Because we understand that the discrimination not only stopped at the distribution of the COVID cash grant, but it has extended now to flood relief hampers. This government has no shame.
Exactly. But coming to the point with the relief, I firmly believe that we need to provide some form of monetary relief, and of course in a non-discriminatory manner. But that is something that is a foreign language to this administration, Sharon. That is something that they cannot, that doesn't go well with them. They're insecure as a government. They believe that elections might be just around the corner, and so everything is a discrimination. Everything they're trying to score cheap political points. And you see, if they were serious about dealing with this flood in a holistic manner, and as Ali declared it, a national issue, then they should have welcomed our motion in Parliament, and we could have sat and discussed this issue. We could have posted tough questions to them. That is what an opposition does. You cannot get annoyed because the opposition is raising certain key issues that are affecting the people. That is what we're there for. We're elected officials, and that is what an opposition does. And they should take that in good faith, cooperate with us, show the country that, this oneness campaign that Ali, whatever happened with that oneness campaign, Sharon? The oneness campaign that Ali
The
was
wireless
talking about,
campaign
it's
seemed to have
lost.
been flooded out. It seemed to have been flooded
It's
out.
flooded. Exactly. It's flooded. We should have sat in Parliament as matured politicians and work this thing out. And we are saying in the opposition that at least $100,000 every family yeah, at least the affected families should be receiving. I firmly agree with that, and I support that. We have, a lot of people are asking, what is it that we're doing with the Natural Resource Fund? I believe the leader of the opposition mentioned that in Parliament. He said, look, that is one of the reasons we have this resource fund. If we have a national crisis, then the government and opposition can come together and we can work something out, and we can get some money from the natural resource fund and try to mitigate the effects of flooding, try to get people back on their feet again. But this administration is very, very uncaring. They're only thinking in political terms. They're not straight thinking, Sharon. They're not operating as
And
though they are a legitimate government and they can govern in the best interest of all Guyanese.
it is precisely because they are not, and you talk about them being uncaring, talk about secretive, because again, they're trying to give Guyanese this impression as though they're in direct contact with the Russian government on Sputnik. But you look back, and I have taken the liberty of going back through so many newspaper articles since Sputnik came in May, on May 2nd,
Mhm.
and there is no mention of this fellow here, Maktoum Al Maktoum.
So,
They keep giving the impression as though they're talking to the Russian government, but they aren't. They're talking to this third party, and God knows where he got his vaccines from. You understand? But that is another. So they are secretive. They have no feelings. They don't care about the Guyanese people. All they care about is money for themselves and their acolytes. And that is why Maktoum is now charging us twice the cost. And God knows if there are kickbacks and what other scandals are happening. What are the corruption?
yeah, there is obviously something fishy about this whole deal involving Maktoum, the Sheikh, with regards to this Sputnik shirt. We have diplomatic relations with Russia. I am certain that Russia will be more than happy, or would have been more than happy, to provide the vaccines for us at the manufacturer's cost. That is how government to government relations work. That is how the diplomatic relations work. What is Utah doing? He is a complete sailor, Sherrod. He is a complete sailor. The things that he's supposed to be, the point person on, I don't know,
Utah is a
he, like,
waste. That
he's
is
just in the
admitted.
background.
Utah is a waste. He's a house slave. He's a waste.
Yep, and I want to make this very clear for our for your viewers. The opposition is not saying that a vaccine is fake. We are not saying that Sputnik is not a good vaccine. As a matter of fact, I'm told the leader of the opposition took the Sputnik vaccine. Based on research, we understand that Sputnik might be one of the better vaccines. But that is not what we are questioning. We are not saying do not go and get vaccinated. We're questioning this whole deal with with uh, the fact that we had to go through a sheikh rather than go directly to the government of Russia. That is what we are questioning. Why is it that we had to go through that route, and it doesn't guarantee us getting the legitimate vaccine? There's one, but it does guarantee us paying more than double the cost, and that doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Something smells about this deal, and the media, I've said it on another program this morning, the media and the people of this country have got to press this administration to release the information. Let them release the batch number. Let them release the information and say, look now, this thing is legitimate. Here are the facts. Here is the evidence. Here is the documentation. What do they have to hide? Instead, what Frank Anthony and others are doing, and Irfan Ali and others are doing, they're blasting the opposition leader and making all sorts of false claims. They have a number of phantom writers in the news media that is writing all sorts of crazy things instead of pressing the administration. This is a very, very serious issue. And for those of us who have taken the Sputnik already, we have to be concerned. We have all right to be concerned about our health and our safety.
MP Holder, you have hit the nail on the head, because I was coming there. I don't like you reading the script, you know. I was coming there. We who got the Sputnik in with veins got to be worried. So who the hell are
Yeah,
they to tell us? We cannot
yeah.
question now. Irfan them took vaccine. Irfan took the vaccine on March 13th. Sputnik came in May. So Irfan and take Sputnik.
So he didn't take
Irfan
Sputnik.
and take Sputnik. Jagdio and take Sputnik. But they must
Sharad,
tell me why you should question. Oh, yeah, damn it.
Sharad, I would like to know. I would like to know which vaccine they took. I have my own suspicions. I think these guys have special privileges and so, but that is another conversation. That's a secret. He should have come out and said, I took the Sputnik, or I took Sinopharm, or I took the AstraZeneca. You're not hearing that. You're not hearing that. You know why? Because they probably got the higher end vaccine, maybe the Pfizer or Moderna or something on some special jet. Remember, Jack Dio had to go to Florida for some belly some diarrhea or something. Remember that, Sherrod? So I wouldn't be surprised that the Pfizer or some other, or Johnson and Johnson vaccine came on a special jet for these guys. I wouldn't be surprised.
As long as you are a citizen, you can question, right, the efficacy, the veracity, and all of that of how these vaccines came into our possession by all of these scams. Because it is not our reporting, it is Norway and the Norwegian reporting that told us that some of them who are affiliated with Al Maktoum, the Sheikh, are wanted by international police. Now, around that very same time, you had, for instance, you had right next door, clinical trials were being done in Brazil, and Brazil rejected the Sputnik. We can't talk about that. And the reason why Brazil would have rejected Sputnik, that was
Well,
in Starbuck News. I ain't quoting nothing that we shouldn't know. Look, that
mhm.
was Starbuck News. Let me get a date for you. That was Starbuck News. April 27. You all could go back and read it. 2021. Brazil health regulator rejects Russian Sputnik vaccine. Also, right next door to Russia, Russia calls on Slovakia to return Sputnik V doses after dispute. I want to read this a paragraph, and this I got from Starbuck News, just doing some research just this morning. The agency said it found that the dosage form of the vaccine, the way the medicine is presented, such as in a solution, differs from the product currently being scrutinized by the European Union. So they bought one kind of this Sputnik vaccine, and then when the European Union was scrutinizing it, Slovakia saw a different vaccine, Sputnik vaccine, being presented, and so they were worried, and so they started to question because
Yes.
they care about their people,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
they told Russia, they weren't satisfied with what was happening. And now these guys want to tell us, Ralph Ramkran and all the other Judases want to tell us we don't have a right to question what going into events.
Sherrod, even the Stabrook News that you're quoting, they have been putting out certain columns and certain headlines blasting the opposition and the leader of the opposition specifically for raising these very concerns, for raising these legitimate concerns. But look at this. If the chairman for CARICOM can't speak on it, nobody else can. If the chairman, if these guys could blast the chairman of CARICOM, a fellow head of state, a senior head of state for a sister country, then what do you think they will say to the opposition here? You know, I was quite taken back, quite surprised at this government's reaction to Mr. Rowley's own internal um, his own internal con- uh, conference, his own internal dealings in his country. He was merely explaining to his people that, look, I have been leading from the top. We have a lot of vaccines. The only reason why we don't have as much as Guyana is because Guyana made the decision to take the Sputnik that is not WHO approved. Simple as that. And they thought it fit. They saw it fit to blast a fellow head of state, sister state in CARICOM. You know, our diplomatic relations are at the lowest point. I know we were talking health and we were talking Sputnik, but this something is wrong with our diplomacy, Sherrod. Something is wrong. It makes me remember the Taiwan issue. Something is definitely wrong. Utah and others are just not getting it right. And
Plenty
and
things.
you would recall every time the PVP government is in office, we get these kinds of issues. Trinidad disrespect us, Barbados disrespect us, Jamaica, all the major players in the Caribbean disrespect us because of our government behavior. It's not because they don't like or appreciate the people of Guyana, but it's because of our government.
It's the creatures that we got to deal with. And as you're saying, MP Holder, that something is wrong. Look, on May 5th, and again, all the Starbuck News is not Village Voice. On May 5th, Frank Adney said they had enough COVID vaccine available for second doses on May 5th. By May 28th, Sputnik runs out, right? And Gordon Mosley did some math the other day. I don't have the time for us to go through all of it. That says something is wrong with what this government did with these vaccines. It's either we mad bad or they mad terrible. And if they English so bad, I ain't want about the maths.
They,
You
they,
understand me? So
they're,
I get what you're saying. Something is wrong.
they're obviously hiding something. I don't know. I don't want to speculate or be irresponsible in any way, but we don't know how many vaccines spoil and those sorts of things. It's a national secret. This whole vaccine business is a national secret. When the Sheikh come, we didn't understand at that point that he come to deliver vaccine, but here we are a little while later, a few weeks later, and we finding it out. This administration is very, very secretive because everything is about a money making right now. Every single thing is about a money making, Sharon.
Holder, anything that concerns our health, we have to interrogate as individuals and as citizens. I want to just read part of this Tablet News report. We ain't quoting Harman, right? We ain't quoting Valder, we ain't quoting Granger. This is Tablet News. This is Tablet News. Let me give you the date. April 27. Again, Brazil health regulator rejects Russia's Sputnik vaccine. And I stand with what you said. We are not saying these vaccines are inherently bad, but we're saying we have questions. And as an opposition, we have to question what the administration, what the regime is doing. Listen to what the Starbuck News said on this issue of Brazil rejecting Sputnik. They said a Visa 5-strong board, this is their regulation board in Brazil, voted unanimously, and we know Brazil got COVID problems, voted unanimously not to approve the Russian vaccine after technical staff highlighted inherent risks and serious defects, citing lack of information guaranteeing its safety, quality, and effectiveness. This is Starbuck News reporting on what was happening in Brazil. And so we mustn't say it. If Harman had said this, oh, he is inventing stuff and he's being irresponsible. But Starbuck News printed this.
There are many. Sharon, as you were there in Parliament when I mentioned Switzerland, Switzerland found out that the Pfizer wasn't working well with the older folks, and the Moderna wasn't working well with the younger folks. So they had to actually swap these two vaccines, and they developed their own thing, what to give based on the age range. They're not using the Sputnik. They're not very far from Russia. They're just nearby, and many other countries in Europe are not using the vaccines. And as you mentioned, Brazil, we all know that Brazil has serious COVID issues, and for their board to unanimously say, look, we are not going to approve the use of Sputnik, it tells you something. Brazil is a way more developed, way more advanced country than Guyana, than we are in this country. And so you must, that should raise eyebrows. It should raise eyebrows. And if the opposition raise it, I don't see a problem with it. They should be responsible as a government and say, look, these are the facts that we have. This is where we got the vaccine from. This is the batch number. We can verify that it's legitimate, and we can verify that it's okay and it's safe for the Guyanese people to take it. It's that simple. I don't know what is all this rambling about, this back and forth about,
Holder, our time has gone, unfortunately, now when our conversation is heating up. But I want to thank you for joining us on the program, walking us through some of this COVID-19 issue locally, walking us through some of what is happening there in Region 2, and as regards to floods specifically there. And we hope that you continue to hold your feet to the fire for the development and for the protection of the people of Region 2, MP Holder. Thanks for coming by this evening in the ring.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon.
Great. And folks, as we leave you, as we do every evening, we ask you guys to continue to social distance, even if you are fully vaccinated, as I am, with Sputnik V. Right? You social distance, you wear your mask, you sanitize. All of the COVID-19 protocols are still in place. And guys, when I say that I have taken the vaccine, because at that time I felt I had all of the information, I could make a good judgment. And I still say that to you guys. Get all the information. And because this thing is going into our bodies, we have a right to question. Don't wait on the government to question and do the research for you. Thanks for joining us this evening, and do stay safe. And those of you who are going to be coming back to view this program, share the damn live stream, or else I'm coming to fight y'all. Stay safe.